Hello everyone and welcome back to the FM Scout YouTube channel and a brand new Football Manager experiment where we take a look at what would happen if you gave the Premier League's TV deal to the Scottish Premiership and the Scottish Premiership's TV deal to the Premier League. Now the changes that we made are only to the TV deal, so the individual clubs will all retain their sponsorship rights and all the other source of revenue from stadium tickets and everything else. We're just going to see how big a factor the TV deals are in Football Manager. Now my name is Giancarlo. You are welcome to go and subscribe to my channel by clicking the little I button in the top right or the description down below. I do Football Manager experiments or videos about 3-4 times a week. These experiments come out and I've also got a daily European Journeyman series where I'm currently managing Napoli. But for this experiment, the way it's going to work is we're going to progress forward a year at a time. I think today we'll just go forward a couple of years to see the immediate impact of the money flooding into the league. And then if you guys hit that like button and show that you're interested in another part to this experiment, we'll put one out next week on Thursday for you guys to have a look at. And we'll jump forward, I think, 3 years ahead in the next part if you guys are interested in seeing more. Now, just to explain the way these TV deals work, in the Premier League, every club is given the same amount at the start of the season. That's about £87.5 million. They also get over £1 million every time they play on the telly, and then they get money apportioned to them based on where they finish in the league. Now, all of that prize money and TV money has been shifted around to the Scottish League. So every Scottish team is going to get £87 million at the start of the season and £1 million every time they appear on TV, and even more money at the end of the season. But the English teams are going to get the Scottish deal, which is about £600,000 at the start of the season, and then I think it's maybe £25,000 every time they appear on the telly, and then very little prize money at the end of the season, a couple of million for winning the title, I think. That is all the TV money they're going to get. So all of these teams are going to suffer financial blows of at least 80 to 100 million pounds every single season. For the smaller clubs, this is going to hit in a huge way. The bigger clubs will be able to cover their losses with sponsorship deals or rich owners, but the lower end of the table is really going to suffer from this. So let's jump forward 1 year. We'll take a look at the first year of the TV deal and see where the baseline is for transfers, because the existing transfer structure will still be in place. Well, we have gone forward 1 year in the Premier League. You can see Arsenal have interestingly won the title. I don't think many people would have expected that to happen. 92 points as well, almost doing as well as Chelsea did this season. United and City behind them, Liverpool in 4th, and Spurs and Chelsea, the two that actually finished up, way down in 5th and 6th. Now, this league table isn't that interesting at the moment. The teams are going to be pretty much as they were before, except some of the teams at the bottom are going to have lost an awful lot of money because their budgets are based on the income that they would have had otherwise in the game. And if we have a look at the finances of Crystal Palace, you'll see they've got still £40 million in there, but that's mostly because the money will have been paid out at the end of this season. Arsenal, though, finishing top. If we look at the transfer screen, which is where we'll see the biggest impact of this, you can see there has not been a lot of money spent. I mean, this is only so far in the new transfer window, but £33 million the highest fee, and the year before that, £43 million paid by Spurs, but otherwise the team's keeping it below 20 million. Most transfers about 15, 10 million. In Scotland, there are no surprises about who's won the league. It has gone to Celtic, Rangers finishing 2nd, Aberdeen in 3rd. So those are the European places for next season. It's worth taking a look at teams like Motherwell and their finances, though, because they should have a little pretty penny in the bank. And as you can see, they've got £65.5 million sitting in the bank because they go down to the 2nd tier of Scottish football. So these teams are all going to start banging out huge transfers very soon. There's not going to have been a lot of progression this season. If we have a look at the transfers and drop back to the first season, you can see this is the baseline for money being spent in Scotland. This is a normal season because they will have been given the money, but the transfer budgets would have been preset by the game. You can see Celtic lost a couple of players. The highest transfer paid was £4.3 million for Barazite from S3 Utrecht. They also picked up Kabasele from Watford, but Celtic, the real big spenders. The next big Scottish fee was Hearts for just a couple of £1 million. Now, the year after that, we're only part-way through the summer transfer window, but you can see that spending has stepped up a little bit. Celtic going and pushing out nearly £10 million for Lee Cattermole, and also bringing in Adnan Januzaj, a couple of big transfers for them. They're the team that will be really pushing in Europe and trying to do very, very well. But cash-strapped Rangers will also have an awful lot of money in the bank as a result of this. You can see they've got that £69.7 million figure as well. So there won't have been a lot of happened in this first year, but I wanted to give you an idea of the baseline for Scottish football, so that as we go forward you can see more and more how they're developing. So let's go forward one more year and get a final view of where the league table is, where Scotland is in the coefficient rankings for European leagues, and what kind of transfers are being done. Well, here is the Premier League now, another year into the future. Manchester United have actually won the title, 5 goals ahead of Man City, Arsenal slipping to 3rd. West Brom actually finished up in 8th, which is quite good going. Newcastle, one of the newly promoted teams, finishing in 11th. But Hull, Wolves and Ipswich all going straight back down. So the TV money doesn't seem to really be having an impact. England still the 3rd biggest league in Europe. Their transfer screen, if we have a look at this season, loads of money still being spent by English teams. Man City and Chelsea obviously always going to head up the biggest headline numbers. United will always be in there as well, but we could see other teams really start to rein in their spending. And looking down this list, I can't see much money being spent by any other English team. The next highest transfer from an English team, Celtic have spent more than most English teams this season on a player from the Premier League, but Ganzo from Sevilla to Everton, the biggest transfer outside of the traditional top 6 teams. And also Tottenham, nowhere in this top half either. Spurs' biggest signing, I can't even see it. Celtic are appearing multiple times, so you can already see the transition of some players leaving this league. I can't even find Spurs in there. Let's have a look at their individual transfer history. You can see they've spent nothing this season, not a single penny. They spent 52 million the year before, but they've spent absolutely nothing, with 40 million pounds of players leaving the club, and they've got very, very little cash in the bank, just 31 million pounds. Not a huge amount given they've just sold 40 million pounds of players this season, and they could really be in trouble. You could start to see some of these big clubs really starting to struggle. West Ham just okay finances, Stoke okay finances, but over time this could really have a big impact. I think teams like Burnley might be okay because they've got smaller wage budgets, but teams like Leicester might really struggle. I don't know what their transfer history has been. They've also just not spent a single penny. This TV money already having a huge impact on most Premier League teams, but the top 6 really just pushing ahead. Now you can see that the Scottish Premiership on the top right corner here have jumped from 27th to 21st in just one season. Their league ranking firing up. They're almost as big as the Sky Bet Championship now, which is quite good going. If that growth continues, they will do very, very well. Celtic winning the title, Aberdeen in 2nd, Rangers 3rd, but Hearts have gained a 4th European place. So more teams in Europe for Scotland means higher climbing up the rankings. Also, Scottish transfers, if we take a quick look and scroll to the top of the screen, you'll see the money is definitely gone up. A couple of £10 million plus signings in there, although one was Moussa Dembele leaving Celtic. But Aberdeen chucking out nearly £11.5 million. On Zach Clough from Nottingham Forest, Borja Baston coming in. Celtic really the big spenders. Hearts did have quite a few transfers in there as well, but Celtic are absolutely gunning for it with Brendan Rodgers in charge. They're a rich club and they've got £46 million in the bank still, with £22 million in the transfer budget. They're going to do very well, and I'm just picturing a midfield with Lee Cattermole and Scott Brown in the centre. That is a brutal team to go up against. But you can see the Scottish Premier League really starting to spend a bit of money, and even Falkirk, who've avoided relegation this season, managed by Darren Ferguson, their finances £77 million in the bank. They are going to do very well. And if we drop down a division to see how the teams from last season did, and have a look at the league table, you'll see Hamilton won the league. I can't remember if Hamilton were the team to go down though. I think they were, and their club details still £25 million in the bank. So it will start to really filter down to the Championship if enough of those teams can come up to the top division. But at the moment, 2 years in, I think we've done very, very well. Now, as I said before, if you guys are interested in seeing a second part to this experiment, do drop a like on the video. It lets us know that this is the kind of content you're enjoying, and make sure to subscribe to the channel as well. If you guys do enjoy this one, we will put out another video a week today for you guys with a second part to this experiment, and we'll go forward 3 years in time, I think, to go through each season individually. If we want to go further than that, we'll jump forward 5, 10, 15 years ahead of time. But that is looking ahead. Just drop a like on the video if you've enjoyed it. And as I said before, my name's Jen Caldo. You can click the I button or the link in the description to check out my channel and see more experiments such as my Belgian billionaires experiment, which is currently ongoing. And you should also check out www.fmscout.com for all your tactics, skins, guides and FM tools that you might need in this year's game. Everything you could possibly need is right there at your fingertips. But that is going to be it for this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed it, and until next time, see ya!